33. Random film. Let's get to The Nice Guys from 2016. This one is written and directed by Shane Black, stars Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, Margaret Qualley, Angry Rice, and a few others. And the synopsis is Holland March is a down on his luck private eye in 1977 Los Angeles. Jackson Healy is a hired enforcer who hurts people for a living. Fate turns them into unlikely partners after a young woman named Amelia mysteriously disappears. So I was pretty new to Shane Black at this point. I had seen Iron Man 3, which I think is still the best Iron Man movie of the trilogy. Loved Ryan Gosling, loved Russell Crowe, and I love the 1970s LA setting. I think that is so well done in this, and it's just intriguing to me in general. It's very Boogie Nights-esque. I think, flat out, this is one of the best genuine comedies of easily the last decade, if not longer. Like, it is, and maybe some of the points that makes it so good sound boring to talk about, but it's so well written. Like, comedies these days struggle with good writing, where it's not just, 11 out of 10 screaming at things and other people, making really, really, not that there's anything wrong with raunchy jokes, but trying to get laughs out of being extreme and being super, super graphic with no real basis. And this movie is quite adult in a lot of ways, but it's funny. It's got good drama. The character development is strong. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling are perfect together. Like, Ryan Gosling, he's one of my favorite actors, as should be obvious to anyone who has listened to the show for a while. He has such great range, and I think he's only getting better and better and better. And I can't wait to see him in The Fall Guy later this year. He's great. Russell Crowe, very refreshingly enjoyable. Like, he's typically, not always, but typically a little bit more of a dramatic actor, and I like to see him do comedic stuff like this because I think he's good at it. And so in that way, the movie is top notch. The 1970s porn scene in California is really funny and enjoyable and ridiculous. So that part is really well done. So everything in the movie feels as authentic, I think, as it can be. Like, yeah, there are certain things that are a little exaggerated and all that, but it feels very grounded. And even though there's a lot of flashiness to the movie, it still feels very restrained in how it's all put together. And one of the best things on top of all that is it has a very solid story. And it's easy to take that sort of thing for granted because so many movies, especially comedies, the stories are terrible. They're so uninspired. They seem to not care about the story at all. It's just about getting laughs, which usually doesn't happen these days very often. And I think that's one of the reasons why it took me by surprise even then, is because I was thinking, wow, I'm actually like engaged in the story. This is actually working, and I'm curious to see what happens next. I'm not just waiting for the next punchline. And so that works. The final sequence at the premiere is hilarious. Probably my favorite part is the house party at night. That's really, really fun. So there are so many memorable moments, so many great lines. I wish Shane Black would do more like this. I think he's sort of a slow producer in that way. Like, he doesn't have all that much come out very often, but I wish he would get back to doing stuff like this, because this is probably my favorite Shane Black movie, easily. And some other great moments where Ryan Gosling is sitting on the toilet and Russell Crowe comes in, fantastic, where he's interviewing the old woman about the young girl. That's great. The elevator shootout sequence where the guy's falling, that's hilarious. Like, if you want a good comedy, you got to watch The Nice Guys. And I feel like whenever I bring this movie up to people, they're always thinking The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, which, an alright movie, but Nice Guys is way better, just in that conversation. But couldn't say enough about it. Really don't have many issues at all with it. Maybe a touch too long, but other than that, it's pretty darn perfect as a 70s noir comedy, crime comedy. Like, it's an absolute winner for sure. So that is a heavy 5 out of 5.